Alrighty, so I figured it'd be a good time to give you all an update and a new video. I'm not gonna be able to smoke in my videos anymore. Apparently, that's a no-no, and I still need to go and download like a YouTube euphemisms guide. To me, I'm not a big fan of censorship, and it's still kind of a funky world that we live all in right now. So you'll have to bear with me on that. I'm still getting used to doing things like that. So once upon a time, I go out about 10:30 at night, and I have to go unlock this house for an old Asian lady. I don't know why, but old women just despise me when I'm working. It's a common thing, and I don't get it because I don't have an issue with them, but they always seem to have an issue with me. Um, anyway, so I go out to this property, and they're locked out of this house. They already called somebody else out to unlock them. They weren't able to do so, and my quote was like 1.5 more times expensive as what they were quoted. So like if the other guy quoted him $100, I was only charging him like 150 or something. And in the grand scope of what I could charge at 10:30 at night, like that's a pretty tame price. Like it's really not that bad. You know, in some cities, like you can charge $300-400 to come out at night, and like any plumber or electrician or anything is going to charge you $200-300 just to show up, like before they've even turned a wrench or looked at anything. Anyway, so I go out to this property, and she tells me she doesn't want to pay that price. She wants to call back the original company and she wants to see if they can go ahead and get her in and send somebody else that can perform the work that's needed instead of who she already got. So anyway, I tell her if she's not gonna, hire me and pay me like what we discussed on the phone, then, I'm gonna leave. So she asked me, can you stick around for 15 or 20 minutes and, just in case I need you? Well, that, like, from my perspective, I'm sitting there, it's like, wait a minute, you refuse to pay me. You want me to sit around and wait just in case this other person can't do it. They already came here once and told you they can't do it. But you know what? Even though it's messed up, like, it still beats me driving all the way home, and then she ends up calling me anyway, which is what happens like 4 out of 5 times or something like that. So whatever, it irritates my family less to go home, sit down for 15 or 20 minutes, and then get called back out anyway. Like, I might as well just sit there and play Pokemon in my car or something, while I wait. So the other guy comes back out, tells her again that, he'll try again and she'll pay him for showing up again. Mind you, she hasn't paid me for showing up, but he tries for like 5 minutes and tells her, yeah, I can't do it. You need to pay this other guy. So he comes up to me and says, do whatever you want. I'm out of here. I'm not coming back. So I was like, okay, nice to see you again. We run into each other a lot, different companies. So we try to be friendly with each other, even if we hate each other, like at least in front of the customer. There's no reason to have locksmith drama, like right in front of your customer. It's a bad look for everybody. And it's generally like looked down upon if you do that. Anyway, so she looks over the invoice and she tells me it's too much money. I need to price match what the other guy was trying to charge. So I end up telling her that I'm not going to do that because clearly it's more complex and therefore needs more money. It's only 50% more, and the other guy's not charging very much anyway. So just give me my money and let's move on with our lives. Like, now granted, at 10:30 on a Saturday, like, I could take her for a ride if I wanted to. I could charge her like $350-400 and she would have to pay it, or here we go, break the window. So what does she choose to do? She tears the invoice I hand her into shreds, throws it in my face. That's rude. And then she grabs a brick from her garden and looks at her like window. Now this is an old, kind of frail looking lady, and I've seen quite a lot of glass in my life, and this is definitely, double, triple pain. Like, this is not the easiest glass in the world to break. A regular adult could do it. Old lady, I'm not so sure. So I look at her, I was like, I think that's a terrible decision, ma'am. Like, don't do this. Like, it's not worth it. Like, you're gonna have to pay $300-400 to have that window replaced. I'm charging you a fraction of that. Like, just pay me and let's move on with our lives. So she picks up the brick like in her hand, like, I'm gonna do it. And I shrugged and I was like, go for it. It's your property. Like, I don't care. You do what you want to do. So she heaves this brick at this window. It bounces off and just boom, right in her face. So it knocks her out, right? She's out cold. Boom, down for the count. So I pick up my phone. I start calling 911 and I was like, hey, I'm over here at this property. This lady just threw a brick at her own window. It bounced off and knocked her out. Well, as I'm telling the operator this, she like wakes up, opens her mouth, and blood just starts pouring out of her mouth. And 2 or 3 teeth just like fall out onto the pavement. So I told her, I was like, you need to pick those teeth up and put them back in your mouth. Keep them warm and wet so that if you can find an emergency dentist, they might be able to put them back, if you're really lucky. They might sometimes be able to do that. Like, I don't know. I've never had that surgery, but I used to skateboard and I've seen people like have that happen. And they came back and their teeth were fine, and they said that they were able to recover it. So I don't know. But, so I'm telling the operator, I was like, I didn't touch her. I don't know why she did this. Like, it was all on her. Like, you don't you be calling the cops talking about, oh, this dude was with, no. Like, I'm out of here. You're on your own. So she should, all messed up. And I'm sitting there. It's like, yeah, great. Good decision. You happy? You feel good that you saved like $120, $130? Like, good for you. I'm sure all those teeth cost less than that. Girl looked like, all busted up, like teeth missing. It was bad. But, it was definitely one of the worst calls I'd ever been to, because it's like, don't be so cheap you make stupid decisions. Like, even if you don't pay us, like, if we tell you what you're thinking about doing is a terrible decision, it is. We're not so vain and so spiteful that just because we're not getting paid, we're going to tell you to do something stupid or dangerous. And people do this stuff almost every day. Like, I had a customer just last week, like, make a dumb decision with some starting fluid, and thankfully he was willing to listen to me enough and didn't notice that I was putting in earplugs and everything for what he wanted to do, and I was like, go for it, and he did it, and it didn't go well for him. So I don't really know where to go from here. My next stories, I've got a couple ideas, but I think I'm just gonna put them out. People aren't really making too many comments on the videos anyway, so I'm just going to pick the stories from here on out. You guys have fun, stay safe, stay legal, stay out of trouble, and have a good one. Bye.